All right. Everybody locked in? Everybody ready? Yeah. We good? Yeah. All right. Hey, afternoon. Darrell Finley here. Got my man T. Will in the back. Coming at you from the Power of Business Credit Coaching Group on Facebook. I'm also on my Instagram. I'm on live. Real quick, we just wanted to go over the importance of the mindset of a business owner. The mindset of a business owner. And when I think about the mindset of a business owner, I think about 5C's. The 5C's that every business owner should have. And I started to think about my time in Bible college. Yes, Bible college. Sometimes people ask me, what did you do in Bible college? Did you just read the Bible every day? And when I look back on it, I say, Bible college actually helped prepare me to run the businesses that I run today. Yes, Bible college. I tell you what, first things first, when I went to this particular church that I went to, Bible college, it was just something. Everybody was happy. Everybody was pleasant. Everybody was warm. And it used to really bug me out because I'm from the streets. I wasn't really used to another man coming up hugging me saying I love you and different things like that. So it kind of caught me off guard, but nevertheless, I began to realize that this was all a part of that church's culture. So the first thing I want us to know as business owners is that your business, the success of your business, your employees, etc., will be solely depicted upon the culture. Well, what is culture? Culture, a contagious atmosphere that's undeniable. A contagious atmosphere that's undeniable. What am I saying? Well, as a business owner, I know that it's important for me to just have a certain attitude. I have to have a certain level of expectation. Someone is always watching me. Someone is always looking to see how I handle a certain situation, how I handle people, how I handle employees, etc., etc. And I have to make sure that what it is that I'm presenting can be given to someone else. In other words, what it is that I'm doing, is it contagious? Is it in the atmosphere? Am I smiling? Am I greeting people? Am I welcoming? Am I warm? You understand what I'm saying? So the culture, once again, is a contagious atmosphere that's undeniable. So it is my duty, it is my privilege, to say the least, to give an atmosphere that people feel welcome, that people feel as if they can be a part of, that people feel as if they can come in and say, hey, you know, I like what's going on here, right? So first things first, every business owner has to create and set the standard for the culture of the company, the heartbeat of the company. Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? Are we not going to do this? Are we not going to do that? And this has to become consistent throughout the time that that business is owned. It just has to become consistent throughout the time that we are in business with that company. Culture, 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 very important. If you're taking notes, studies show that 95% of that people that take notes go to heaven, all right? So if you're taking notes, please remember that the culture is a contagious atmosphere that's undeniable. Atmosphere, what's in the air? What's going on? What do you feel? What do you smell? What do you hear? At one of my businesses, if you've been there, you know that we play a lot of old school music, right? Because that just sets the tone for the atmosphere. That says, hey, we're not here to really partake in any nonsense. Hey, we here to feel good. We here to feel great. We here to get some food. We here to have a good time. We here to laugh. We here to joke. We here to smile. And that's that contagious atmosphere that as a business owner, I set at all times. So,
Lost connection.
From the culture, you lost connection. Let me know when we're back. Instagram, I hope y'all still with me. How y'all doing? Talking about the 5C's every business owner should have. 5C's every business owner should have. We already started off with culture. We're going to go into the second C. The second C. Woo, woo. Get me right back there for the Facebook Live. We losing connection. That's crazy. Instagram, what it do? We live over here on Facebook. We live right here on Instagram. Please leave comments, ask questions. I'm an open book. Share with you anything that I need to share with you. This is the Power of Business Credit Facebook group. The link is in my bio. If you want to join the group, there is an admission fee to join the group. But nevertheless, we know that it's a small investment to make in yourself and in your business, to become a part of this group, to be a part of the culture, like-minded people, trying to do the same things that it is that you're trying to do as a business owner. And a lot of the time, a lot of us just don't have a support system. So we get scared, we get discouraged, we get afraid. I'll go to none of that. We back on Facebook. All right, so we back. Darrell Finley here, Power of Business Credit Coaching Group. We're going over the 5C's that every business owner should have. I went over the first C, which was culture, and I defined culture as an atmosphere, it's contagious. It's something that just comes upon you, and it's just establishing the business. So from that culture, as I said earlier, I went to Bible college, and a lot of culture, you begin to understand character. This is the second C that every business owner should have. They should have character. And you may say, well, what is character? I define character as the person you are when people are not looking, right? The person you are when nobody's looking, nobody is around. That's your character. So in regards to being a business owner, right? How do you govern yourself when nobody is not looking? A lot of the times it's easy for us to say, hey, do this. Hey, do that. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. Being a business owner is not being a business owner is going hard when nobody else is looking, when nobody else is around, meaning that this is just a part of your character. This is what you do. This is not just you putting on the show, putting on the act. No, this is what it is that you do at all times, 24/7, 365 as a business owner. Because being all the way clear, you as the owner have to care about the business more than anyone else. And if you create a culture and your character depicts that culture, then guess what? It becomes contagious. And then you have other people that care about the company as much as you do. You see how that goes? So from culture, we go to character. Character says, hey, this is who I am with or without you, right? But guess what? I want you to join with me. Because what the saying says, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. You want to go far, hey man, take somebody else. So the idea is not to say, hey, I'm better than you, right? The idea is to lead by example. The idea is to always be of good character as it pertains to your business, as it pertains to you as an employer, to your employees, as it pertains to just you as a person, right? We have to have good character. You understand? So from that character, I began to see that, well, the culture is in place and the character is in place, but then we get the commitment. What is commitment? Commitment is by any means necessary, ladies and gentlemen. By any means necessary. I do not want to hear a business owner talk about what they can't do, what they have not been able to do. I can't do this because of this. I don't have this. By any means necessary. Right? Commitment is by any means necessary. I was always intrigued with the assignments they would give us during my time as an undergrad student. They would say, hey, get a team, go build a wall. Hey, get a team and go over here and knock that board down. Hey, get a team and do this, get a team and do that. So the object was to always get a team. There was rarely a time when we were given an assignment that didn't involve us having a team. And what does that mean? That means that not only did I have to show a level of commitment, but everyone else that was on my team had to show a level of commitment. And then in a sense, we fed off one another and we began to get it done by what? By any means necessary, right? I believe Malcolm X said that, right? By any means necessary, we have to show a level of commitment. So that means that, hey, rain, sleet, hail, or snow, we're going to be here. We're going to be open. One of the best things a good friend of mine said when I started one of my business ventures, he said, hey, man, no matter what, you make sure you're there. If this is the day and time that you open, you make sure you're there at all times. And it's very hard to be committed because guess what? We get down. We get depressed. We get discouraged, man. We get unmotivated. Entrepreneurship is not for those who need someone else to motivate them. Entrepreneurship, being a business owner, is not for those that need someone to always give them a pat on the back and tell them you're doing such a great job. You won't get that often. And oftentimes, by the time you get that, the people you want it from, it's too late anyway. You done elevated to a whole other level anyway. So you, of all people, have to show that level of commitment. You have to show just that level of care. You have to show that level of, hey, leaders go first. Leaders go first. As an undergrad student in Bible college, I sometimes felt like, hey man, we used to help. Like, we got all the little bottom stuff that nobody else wants to do that just needs to be done around the church. Let me tell you what I learned. We had to be to a meeting at 7 a.m. I was coming through the door of the meeting at about 7:03 a.m. I just knew that I would be the first, if not one of the first people to arrive at the meeting. I was mistaken. When I came into the door 3 minutes after the time to meet up, guess what? All of the leaders, everyone that was on staff at that church, everyone that was a part of that church that called themselves to be a leader in that church, guess what? They were all there. Front row, leaned in, ready to go. Commitment. So what that showed me was that, hey, the leaders are not only asking this of me, they expect this and they show this of themselves. They're not telling me to do something that they themselves are not doing. And for me, that went a long way, because for me, that said, you know what? I'm going to get on board. I'm going to make sure I'm not on time, I'm early. Because another thing I learned was that to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. And to be late is to be left behind. And as a business owner, we don't want to make any of our employees, any of the people that are following us, to feel as if we're asking them to do something that we ourselves are not willing to do. Commitment. So from commitment, oh man, this is a good one right here. I began to understand communication. And I broke it down into 3 parts. The first part is say what you mean to say. Say what you mean to say. By me being a man that's married now, I understand that oftentimes you can say stuff that you meant to say it a certain way, but the way that you said it, it didn't quite come out right. So you have to go back and say, well, I didn't mean to say it that way, but what I really meant to say when I said was, and communication is just so pivotal and so important for any business owner to have. And it takes time. And sometimes it takes you to say the same thing over and over again. And a lot of us, we don't have the patience to do so, so we just say, oh, I forget about it. But communication, the first step is to say what you mean to say, right? This doesn't mean to be rude. This doesn't mean to be incompassionate, uncompassionate. This does not mean to not be understanding. This just means to mean what you say, not in a threatful way. But if you say as a business owner to someone else, hey, we need to be here at this time, then you need to mean it. And what's one way to show that you mean it? To be there first. Commitment. All of these things snowball into one another, from culture to character to commitment, now to communication. The second part is to receive what was said. Receive what was said. What am I saying? Well, you said that I could do this and I could do this and I could do. No. I said that, but what I meant was, and vice versa. So a lot of the times we have these miscommunications because there's not thorough communication. There's not thorough, you didn't receive what was said to you. And a lot of the times that's because we do more talking than listening. It's the reason why we have one mouth and 2 ears. We should all be willing to do more listening than it is talking. And don't be afraid to repeat what was said to you. Don't be afraid. Okay, so you're saying that, and then that person says yes, and then we get a real clear understanding of what it is we're trying to communicate to one another. Because a lot of the times, especially, we have this thing about text, text now. And so as a business owner of multiple businesses, I do understand the importance of email. I do understand the importance of text. I also understand that it's important to get on the phone a lot of the time. Or to, hey, let's have a sit down, let's meet for lunch, let's see what's going on. Let's really get involved in what is really going on at the core of the issue, if there's any issue. Because a lot of the times we can't tell one another's facial expressions. We can't read a tone in text. A lot of the things that you can only see via face-to-face communication, or even through the phone, you just will not get an understanding of via text or email. So we got to veer away from the new way of doing things. Sometimes stick to the old way of doing things, which is a good phone call. Hey, can I call you in 5 minutes? And let's go ahead and hash this thing out. The last thing is understand what was said. So you have to say what you mean, right? So I speak, someone speaks back, I receive what was said, and then I understand what they said, right? I understand what they said. I get a clear understanding. Now that's 3 parts. That's 3 parts. Understood? So once I understand what was said, I now know how to assess the situation 10 times better. And as an owner, as someone that's employing other people, we have to make sure that we're on one page at the same time, at all times. We have to be sure of this. Because then you have employees that feel like what? The employee doesn't care. The employee the employee is not listening. And I'm not saying that it's your job as the owner to hold everyone's hand, but a lot of us as small business owners, these are the necessary sacrifices that we have to make to ensure that our staff is intact, to ensure that we ourselves is intact with our staff. Because one thing that's going to keep a small business owner with having faithful employees over maybe a big business is rapport. And we build rapport through communication, understanding one another, building with one another, bonding with one another. And I'm not saying that everything I'm saying is the end all tell all. No, sometimes no matter what you do, you just have some people that, and you just have to sever ties. But I do know that the 4th C that every business owner should have is communication, which is say what you mean to say, receive what was said, understand what was said. The last C is my favorite one. And I saved this one for last for a reason. The last C, customer service. Customer service. We have culture, we have character, we have commitment, we have communication. But this last one right here, customer service, and I'm keeping it real simple. Follow up and follow through. Follow up and follow through. As a small business owner, there's no way possible that you do not have processes in place to follow up on a potential lead to give your services and gain your money. Once again, as a small business owner, you should have processes in place to follow up on a lead, to give your services and get your money. Bottom line, point blank, period. For the life of me, I cannot understand how small business owners, etc., have leads, have people that are interested in their services or show interest in their service, and they don't have processes in place. It could be an email follow-up, a phone call follow-up, mailers, some type of way to contact this person and say, hey, I'm here, I'm available. Do you have any questions? Do you have any comments? Do you have any concerns? Anything I can help you with? How can I be of service? How can I help you? It's called customer service. I can't understand how we have people that walk into establishments and no one says, hey, how you doing? We'll be with you in a second. I can understand how we have people that inquire about, no matter what it may be, social media, et cetera, how do we have people that inquire for these services, but us as the owner, we're not doing our part to assure that we've asserted ourselves in being of assistance, of being of help. I see it time and time again, and I'm puzzled, I'm baffled, I'm taken aback. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And once again, as small business owners, we have to sometimes take that extra step to build that rapport and gain that customer. Am I saying you need to beg somebody to do? No. Am I saying because we're small business owners, we have to demean or degrade ourselves? Of course not. If you're a small business owner and you provide a good service, you don't have to beg anyone to use your service. But at the same time, that customer should not feel like they have to beg you to take their money or to receive their money for the service. So it's a two-way street. We have to follow up. Then we got to follow through. If you've told someone, if you've guaranteed someone a service, if they've given you their monies, they've paid their balance, right? and you've told someone that you're gonna provide a service, hey, by all means you do that. By all means, you do whatever it is that you have to do, and if something comes up, then hey, we have to go back to the 4C and communicate that. Right? So we shouldn't have a situation of where someone has paid their money and now they have to hunt you down to extend the services that you promised to render before the money was paid. No, we don't do that. As business owners, we have to have perfect, exceptional customer service. Because you will have people that will come back to you even if your product isn't the best just because your customer service was good. And it's not by accident that a place like a Chick-fil-A has the customer service that it has. They have processes and systems set in place in order to allow them to understand if a particular person will meet the culture of their company, if that particular person will be able to meet the character of their company, if that particular person will be able to meet the communication levels of that company, and if that particular person will be able to meet the customer service levels of that company. So even right now, as small business owners, we have to set up the systems and the processes that will be conducive to the 5C's that all of our businesses should have. Culture, character, commitment, communication, and customer service. It's very important, it's very vital, it's very essential. And now I just wanted to go over these things really quick. Hope I didn't take too much of your time. The 5C's every business owner should have. Culture, character, commitment, communication, customer service. Darrell Finley, you got any questions about that? No? Perfect. I don't think I did too bad on time. T, you got anything you want to say to him? Tavares say he good. Hey, we'll catch y'all next time. Any questions, any comments, leave them. Somebody will get back to you. We just here to empower, we here to help, we here to build, we here to grow. All right? And I just hope that this has been of help to anyone that listens, anyone that looks on. And we'll be coming back to you within the next week with another live video.